great timekeeper. Okay. What's up, man? How you doing?
Subway, bro. Subway killed me.
Okay, well, we're going to get into that a little bit later. First of all, thank you for joining us. Welcome. This is In the Paint, the realest talk in sports. My name is formerly Rodney Jones, but I'm decided to embrace the whole Angus Black personality. That's who I am now. I've changed officially. Yo, thank you for joining In the Paint. Max 611 is here. That's the man that created the show. He's feeling okay, a little late, but okay. And joining us also is our boy, the mad scientist. Thanks for being here with us. And always, my man Dominic from the Bronx, now in Carolina. And we got two more people joining us. Let's bring them in. My man David Sanford from Queens. How you doing, David? David, your mic is live. Okay, well, David's there. Also joining us is Reggie. What's going on, Reg?
Yo, good afternoon. Good evening, fellas. What's going on? Dave, if you can hear us, happy anniversary.
Yes. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Happy anniversary.
Long live Kirk Cousins.
Starting on that guy. Look at his face. He's like, I'm getting ready to get out this damn show. Hell with y'all.
Big scientist, what's going on, baby? You know I have to shout you out, baby.
All right.
Oh, okay. I'll be nice.
This is my youngest.
I'll be nice.
All right. How you doing?
This is my youngest. This is Andrew.
What's up,
Okay.
Andrew?
Say hi.
Big
Right.
Drew.
Hi.
So we got to keep it child friendly.
Yeah. Well,
Reggie, is Reggie operating with night vision goggles?
Oh,
I
Reggie.
don't
Oh,
know.
there you go.
There we go.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's
Oh,
up?
he was
What's
on
up?
the sneak.
Hell yeah.
Gave
Yo,
me a
listen.
flashback.
Witness protection.
I do my best business in the dark, bro. Do my best business in the dark.
He looks like he's in the cockpit of Aliens.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever.
Get out of here. Yeah, let's get into our show today, man. Let's get into it. The first thing on the docket tonight is the New York Knicks and the Utah Jazz. The trade rumors for shooting guard Donovan Mitchell. Much has been made of this. Knicks fans, those emotional ones, are all in a frenzy. I'm sure we got a few here. They're all in a frenzy. Their mouths are frothing. Oh my God, we get another big name. Oh, he's gonna lead us to the promised land. No, he is not. All right,
Hater.
you're gonna have Brunson. Yeah, I'm a hater. You're gonna have Brunson, right? Isn't he ball dominant? I think so. You're gonna have Donovan. Is he ball dominant? I don't know. Could be.
He is.
Thank you for that answer, Mac. You got Julius Randle. Is he ball dominant?
Yes, he is.
And can I throw another name out there? What about RJ? Is he ball dominant too?
Yes, he is.
Let me see if I can put this together. Four ball dominant people in a starting lineup. Okay. And not really the greatest defensively. I wonder how this is gonna work. Are we gonna start outscoring people? Kind of like what was that team?
Brooklyn?
That Doug Mo. Watch it. That Doug
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, when Doug Moe was the coach, the run and gun. Are we gonna see this version? Are we gonna bring the run and gun to the East? Huh? At the MSG, the supposed Mecca.
Hater.
Gee, starting off with hate.
The venom is strong, but
Well, today is about love.
No, it's not about love.
There is no love.
It's about hate. It's about hatred.
We can hear it, We can hear it. Don't let us stop you.
Wait. I think it's about to get even more hateful. Yep.
The bishop.
That guy is here. That guy is here. The bishop. Your mic is live, man. So I don't want to hear any excuses about your equipment.
Listen. My mic don't have to be live. I'm live. Feel me?
Whatever.
I'm live.
Okay.
I'm live.
Get out of here.
Wait, hold on for a second. Dom, Dave, Reggie, Bishop. I'm in trouble tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I got Bishop with me this time.
I'm in trouble.
How are you in trouble, brother?
Well, the slightest mistake or the slightest inclination that my opinion is going to go to crap very quickly. Dom is going to educate me. Bishop is going to eviscerate me. David's just going to drop his head. And Rich is just going to give me the side eye.
I got your back tonight. When was the last time we did a show?
And at the end of it, you'll learn something.
July 8th.
Yes,
Oh,
I know.
my birthday was the last show.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let's
Okay.
go,
Yeah.
Mac.
Happy belated,
So
by the
we
way.
got all this pent up energy. It's like, had a drought, and now everybody is
We're back. We're back.
10-day drought.
Exactly. So, what do you guys think about this alleged trade with these rumors with Donovan Mitchell coming to New York? Well, what's some of your guys' thoughts? I gave you some of mine. I got your hand up. Go for it, my man.
If the Knicks were to make this deal, in the short run, they would be a contender for the playoffs. There would be no doubt about that. In the long run, they're dead. Deader than as can be. Because you're going to be giving up a lot of young players and practically your draft capital for the next, 6-7 years.
Wow.
Just to get Donovan Mitchell. Because when I saw the trade or what Danny Ainge wants for Mitchell, the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, the stuff in Utah must be really potent for him to be smoking to make an offer like that.
Wow. Okay.
But after what he got in the Gobert deal, I guess what he's trying to do is make that a starting point where the Knicks can, quote unquote, be talked down to a package that Ainge eventually is going to be patting himself on the back over. Because let's be real. The Knicks are not the smartest tools in the cabinet. They never have been.
Got that right.
And in the end, Ainge is going to fleece him. Not for that first one. Not for that first one.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
I'm gonna let him finish. I can give you all some numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, stop sighing. Stop sighing.
Excuse me while I drink my coffee.
And I'm going to put my head down right now.
You know I'm a numbers guy, right?
Oh, Jesus.
First and foremost, to the mad scientist, let's look at this in its totality. One, the Knicks are bidding against themselves.
Exactly.
Danny Ainge woke up this morning and said, I ain't got no options. Second point, when you talk about, just picture this. Let's just say hypothetically, because this is all hypothetical,
right?
That the Knicks got to give up 3 players and 4 picks. Okay, so you give up Obi, quickly, Cam Reddish. Just hypothetical, guys. You're getting Donovan Mitchell. You're giving up 4 picks in the future. Those are elementary school kids right now. We don't know who the hell they're going to be, but we do know one thing. We know who Donovan Mitchell is. So picture this. You're getting I'll go as high as top 20 player in the league. Maybe higher. Maybe a little higher. And you're giving up 3 bench players. 3 guys that ain't starting. That don't happen. That normally don't happen. And if you don't believe me, look to your far left or your right, depending on how you're looking, and look at the guy wearing the Yankee hat.
I knew he was going to do that.
The Nets still have Kevin Durant. His name was on the block before we could spell Donovan Mitchell. So tomorrow morning or sometime within the next week or so, Danny Ainge is going to have an epiphany. And you know what Danny Ainge is going to say? You know what? I'm in this for the picks. But if they're going to throw 3 young players in, which probably equate to a pick, he's good. Because, again, I started this conversation with who are the Knicks bidding against? So the Knicks could say, I'm going to give you the mad scientist, and Mac, and 4 picks. And they could drop back and punt. And let's see what other offers he gets. He'll be coming. Trust me, he ain't got no choice. And he's done this before. I will give Ainge credit. He's done this before. He garnered a lot of picks. And guess where he got it from? Again, ladies and gentlemen, look to your left of the screen or the right of your screen. And they are the prime example of being
Whatever. Somebody muzzle this guy.
And we're talking about a 25-year-old versus Durant, a 34-year-old. And Durant is still on the Nets because they aim too high. Danny ain't seen that. And let's not forget, Danny Ainge is part way home already. People might think that Minnesota got fleeced. But you know what? At the end of the day, Minnesota got what they wanted. Danny Ainge got what he wanted. So guess what? At the end of the day, Danny Ainge got to think of one thing: his job, his future, and putting 15 players on the court next year, minus Donovan Mitchell. That's all.
Yeah.
And let me say this one thing, guys. I am not for or against the trade. I forgot to preface that. I'm not for or against it. I will accept it either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amen.
Hold on, Mac. Let me hear this. Let me hear this guy.
So I will unequivocally say I am for the trade. However, I'm not willing to give up the young dudes. I'm not willing to give up those young dudes, the dudes that were playing in the summer league, Sims, McBride, and I'm willing to give up quickly because I got a replacement for quickly already. I got somebody who's battle ready that can take Quickly's position. Whatever Quickly does, he can take his position. I am willing to throw RJ Barrett in that trade.
Ooh.
Because when you give up that, you basically exponentially increase the skill set, the basketball IQ, and all of the above at that number 2 position. You basically, so now you got somebody who can shoot off the dribble, who can create their own shot, who creates a mismatch every single night that they step on the court. Every single night they step on the court. We don't get that with RJ. Now, I am happy. I'm elated that he had those bloated stats on a crappy team so that people are valuing him as if he's going to pan out to be something other than what he is right now. What you see right now, he may get maybe a little bit more consistent jump shot, maybe, but his basketball IQ, this is 3rd year. If he ain't got it by now, he ain't going to get it. He's not a player that you can build around. And what are you saving him for? Maybe the 5th season he turns into something? Not willing to wait. As long as we don't have to give up any of the young players, and if Donovan Mitchell plays the way he's supposed to play, what are those picks really worth? Just like Minnesota. Oh, he got fleeced. What are those picks going to be worth when Minnesota's making the playoffs and they're the 5th seed in the West? What are those picks going to be worth? He had the same situation in Boston. He stockpiled all of those picks, and what did they amount to? Trading cards. 2nd-tier trading cards, because he was never able to make those materialize into anything.
Okay.
I will say this to Bishop. I was going to say that there's a double-edged sword when it comes to RJ, because there's some lunatics out there, no pun intended, that believe this summer or next summer he's going to get a $30 million a year contract.
Negative.
Are you willing to invest $30 million in a guy that still has so many stairs to climb, where if you get a Mitchell who you're already going to pay $30-something million for the next 4 years because he just signed the contract? So when you look at it financially, talently, yeah. And that strikes a chord in a lot of Nick crazies' head. Some Nick crazies believe we shouldn't even give up Obi Toppin. But again, the guys I picked, minus RJ, they're all bench players. So again,
I wouldn't give up Grimes.
No, that's the one thing I was going to say, Bishop. For some strange reason, I like this kid because he's a dual threat. He can play defense, he can shoot, and if he learns how to get to the basket a little more consistently, yeah, I'm not giving up him. But Obi, Quickly, Reddish, RJ, not all 4 of them at once. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Combination of those, you got to go because again, you're talking. This kid's eligible for a max contract. And if you sign him off that rookie deal to a max contract, you can't move him.
Right.
You can't move him.
I wouldn't want to invest that.
Food for thought.
I don't want to invest that in someone.
Not $30 million. No.
Third year going into the 4th year, and I saw no improvement in shot selection, basketball IQ, skill set. I saw no improvement, and I don't. He's been doing the same thing in college that he's doing in the pros, and it's only going to get worse because these young guys are coming out. These young guys are coming out like Grimes. Grimes is like, yo, like he's already better than him, and he hasn't even been in the starting lineup. He's already better than RJ.
What if I told you, and this drives Knicks fans crazy when you bring up actual numbers? We all know who missed the most layups and dunks this year in the NBA, right? Most of us would say Russell Westbrook.
Right.
But what if I told you RJ Barrett was second?
I wouldn't be shocked.
I would believe you.
It's true. Russell was at 280. He was at 276.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at that.
Again, you're looking at. I don't mean to cut nobody off, but you're looking at when you say potential. That's like rolling the dice. I might hit 7. You might hit craps. So when you're looking at potential via what this guy actually brings to the table, and to your point, with all the hating and all the ball dominance, well, you still have Thibodeau. You still have a legitimate point guard that could steer this ship in the right direction. Again, all of this is predicated on everybody buying in, blah, blah, blah. But that being said, those players in any form, fashion, they'd have to go. And the picks, like Bishop said, just like Minnesota, we're going to get better. So they ain't going to be lottery picks. So God bless you, Danny. And again, who have you heard trying to get in this mix? So we're not going to outbid ourselves. So sooner or later, Ainge, if this is another thing, guys, if all of this is true, if they really want to move Mitchell, if they're going to move him tomorrow, a week from now, these are all hypotheticals, but we shall see. I think the Knicks, one, will become an instantly better team. That's a given, with or without RJ Barrett. And you're going in the right direction, guys. You're spending a lot of money, but you all going in the right direction.
I had one point. Mac, I know you wanted to say something, but this is just food for thought, and then I'll let somebody else say something. If Danny Ainge believed that Donovan Mitchell was worth all of that, why the hell is he trying to trade him? If he believed what he was selling, why would he be trying to trade him? You understand what I'm saying? If he's the cornerstone of a franchise and worth all of these picks and worth all of this and worth all of that, why are you trying to unload him? He's 25. He's approaching the prime of his career. Why are you trying to move him? So it's obvious he doesn't believe what he's trying to sell other people.
But he also gets the get out of jail free card too, Bishop.
Yeah, pretty
We're
much.
moving it, the corporate answer. We're moving in another direction.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. So there is always that get out of jail free card.
Right.
So does he want to be moved? This is the problem with social media and all these Wojciechowskis and Windhursts. They make shit up as they go along. So I'm one of those guys that I believe stuff when I see it. If it happens, like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'm still going to be a Knicks fan.
Amen.
Mac, go ahead. Because I know
My
you want
pros.
to say something.
My pros on the trade. You get an all-star in Donovan Mitchell. He'll make the team better depending on what they give up. I wouldn't give up RJ. RJ doesn't presently play the same position. He plays small forward. And RJ isn't on the table to be traded. He's improved a little over the 3 years he's been here, so you're gonna let him improve more because now you have a point guard in Brunson. So that takes away Randall and RJ controlling the ball, which they both have been doing the last 2 years. My cons are you getting a small guard. You already got a small guard. You already got a ball dominant guard, so you're getting another ball dominant guard. Brunson is going to have to he's going to have to not shoot as much as he shot in Dallas at the end of the year last year, during the season and in the playoffs. Is he ready to do that? The reason why he came here was so he could be the number one guy, right?
No.
Yes,
No,
that's why
no,
he came.
No.
That's partly why he came here.
Get it.
Who's that with phone? Mute yourself, please.
The bat phone.
Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge is calling us.
Hold on, let me.
Uh-huh.
The Knicks have 11 picks in the next 7 years, so some of those picks are going to be traded
Right.
at some point.
Okay.
For me, I wouldn't just jump on trading Donovan Mitchell so quick because you already got a small guard. You don't need two small guards, although he is an all-star. Does he make them? Are the Knicks a contender with Donovan Mitchell?
No.
No, they're lower. They were a lower playoff team.
Whoa,
6, 7,
whoa.
8 seed with him.
Whoa.
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 Hold on, sir. You talk. So let me finish.
Let him finish, Bishop.
He moves the needle a little bit, but he doesn't make them an upper echelon team. Let's keep it real. And you're gonna have to give up some pieces at some point to make the team better. I just think they should pass on Donovan Mitchell and build the team as it is because they got some nice pieces. A lot of nice young players that are gonna blossom this year, especially with Brunson playing a point and Rose coming back. Another ball dominant person.
Tell me when you're done. Just some feedback on that, Mark. One, when you say that lower seed, let's rewind two things here. It was only 2 years ago, well, 1 year minus this season, that the Knicks were a 4th seed without Donovan Mitchell, without a point guard, an off-injured Derrick Rose, and a bunch of kids.
Right.
So if you was a 4th seed then, and there's a part 2 to this, Philadelphia didn't get no better. Boston didn't get no better. Cleveland didn't get no better.
You talking about right now?
Right now. Charlotte didn't get no better. I'm talking
Boston got better, bro, but I'm going to let you
Who'd they get? They got Brogdon and Gallinari.
Yeah, that makes them a lot. That makes them a lot better, sir.
They're role players, but we're substituting role players with stars. Not role players. We are actually.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're a role player or a star. They make them better because.
May I interject? May I interject for 1 second? May I interject for 1 second? I just want to interject for 1 second because Mac just made a point, and I would like to dispute that point. So he said Boston got better.
They did.
Did Tatum and Brown get brain transplants?
No, they got a real point guard.
You got a point guard in White as well, but those two guys didn't allow him from San Antonio.
White is
he ran the point. He was the starting point guard. He was the starting point guard in San Antonio.
He's not a point guard like Brogdon.
No.
Brogdon's better than him.
If you're not Brogdon is better, but if you're not allowed to be a point guard on that team, which Tatum and Brown won't allow anybody else to set the table for them. They've already been spoiled. Well, that's not the point guard's fault. That's the coach's fault for allowing that to happen. Yeah, but they've already said this is how we're playing. As long as Tatum creates for others, we're okay with that. So what good is a point guard? I digress.
Now back to this, Mark. When you look at the teams in the East, let's do a push on Boston, because you're telling me we're going to substitute the defensive player of the year for a backup point guard. Okay, if that's the direction they want to go, fine.
How do you figure they pushing the point? How you figure they pushing the defensive player away?
Where's he going to play?
He's going to play the 2. Everybody's going to slide over a little, in my opinion.
He can't shoot. He can't shoot.
Can't shoot.
Who can't shoot?
That's the reason R.J. Barrett is playing the 3, because he can't shoot. So,
well, why'd they get Gallinari to shoot?
Marcus Smart. You said Marcus Smart is going to play the 2.
Yeah, again, Mark.
Everybody's going to slide a position over.
My addition by subtraction is you're bringing in role players where we're bringing in starters. That's a given. You're getting role players. We're getting an all-star. Okay. Not to mention, like I said, if you look at the other teams, I will give Atlanta credit. They definitely got better by getting Murray. No, hands down, if any team in the East has won so far, it's been Atlanta. If the Knicks get Mitchell, they'll be the second team to have done the best. Because everybody else is basically stood pat. Miami, we found out about Miami, conference finals or not. We figured out one thing: they can't score. We checked that box off. They can't score. They didn't bring no scorers in. They can't score. Cleveland, young team, upside, triple threat, 19 7-footers. Okay. They got better than Charlotte. They got better than quite a few teams ahead of them. That's the point I'm getting at. So to say
Cleveland and Charlotte aren't playoff teams. They weren't playoff teams last year.
I'm just counting the teams ahead of them, Mark. You got to jump over number 10 to get to number 9. You got to get to number 9 to jump over number 8. What I'm saying, if you look at the standings and you see where everybody's at and what they did, hey, I'm not saying, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not saying they're going to be a number 2 seed. But I am going to tell you they ain't going to be a playing team. I can't tell you that.
I said they'd be around 6 or 8.
No, don't be trying to hedge your bet. 6 is
I'm not hedging my bet. That's what I said.
No,
I said that.
So who's the top 4 teams in the East? Who's the top 4 teams in the East? You got Milwaukee, Miami.
Here's some information.
Who else?
Milwaukee, Miami,
Philly, perhaps.
Philly. Yes,
perhaps.
Yes, Philly. Yes.
Perhaps. Philly. Okay, and then who?
Boston.
Nope.
No,
and then
crazy.
So you saying Boston is a 4th seed? They finished.
Boston's an upper echelon team.
They cleared the deck. They cleared the deck last season, and we look at that team, and I don't think they're going to crack the top 4. They cleared the deck last season. Circumchance. That's how they cleared the deck last season.
Circumchance. That's not a word.
Milwaukee. Yeah, it is in this particular
circumstance.
No. Circumchance. Circumchance. It's like they cleared the deck this past season because Milwaukee was hurt.
You got the mad scientist rubbing his head, bro.
Oh God.
Because Milwaukee was hurt. No, he making reservations. Because Milwaukee. Because Milwaukee wasn't at full strength, Miami wasn't at full strength, so they were able to clear the deck. What I'm saying,
listen, you do what you're supposed to do. You play who's in front of you, and if you knock them down, you knock them down. They got a little bit of luck, but they did what they had to do.
They did a Phoenix. So what I'm saying to you, in this season, they ain't gonna be able to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So out of the top 3 teams in the East, those are the only ones that
make a little friend. We'll make a little friendly wages. So.
You don't pay on wages.
Don't do it.
I pay late.
Very late, like a year or 2.
No, I'm saying that out of the top tier teams in the East, there's only 3 of them that have solidified their spots this coming season that I see. The rest, everything is up for grabs in the rest. Everything is up for grabs in the West. The Brooklyn Nets, I don't think that Durant or Kyrie are going to be leaving. I think they're going to get in a room. They're going to hash it out. His mom is going to cook for them, and they're going to figure out.
He's going to turn off his burner accounts.
What Sean Mark said to offend him, and Kyrie is going to pray and burn some whatever, that sage or whatever, and Brooklyn will be like, none of this ever happened. It was the media. It wasn't us. I never said that. The media took it all out of proportion. So I think the Brooklyn Nets will be who the Brooklyn Nets are. But out of the teams in the East, I'm not even counting Brooklyn in that because they could have another meltdown or whatever it is. So I don't see. Explain to me what other teams are going to be in that top echelon.
I will say Atlanta got better.
They got better, but they often hurt. They oftentimes hurt. The John Collins dude, he can't stay healthy. Clint Capella can't stay healthy. DeJounte Murray helps them in defense, but they need buckets. They need scoring. They didn't get any more scoring. They just got better defensively. So how did they get better? Still up for grabs. Scorer. No, he's not. He can't shoot on a fast break. He can't shoot from the perimeter. That's been the knock. He's a fast break. He
He
pushes.
don't need to shoot playing next to Lil El DeBarge. I mean, Chico DeBarge. He doesn't need to be a great shooter.
Well, I'm wondering how it's going to work when they put a 6'5" guy on him without the ball, and he's trying to run through screens, and guys are collapsing on him and all of that stuff. And I'm wondering how that's going to work. But
you talking about Murray?
no, I'm talking about
Young.
Chico.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder how that's going to work. Because he's no Steph Curry. He's no Steph Curry. He can shoot, but he's no Steph Curry.
Okay. David, you've been quiet through this whole thing, man. I know you haven't had a chance to break in, so I want to give you that chance.
Thank you. I like Donovan Mitchell, but I don't know that based on what the Utah is asking for, I don't know that he's worth it. I think that the Knicks always make that mistake of going after the name, and the player is not necessarily, the right fit. I don't want them to mortgage, especially if we're talking about them being a possible playoff team. I don't know that with that team, the way it's constructed, that he makes them that much better, that he's worth what Utah is asking for. The Knicks have that history of, actually, bidding against themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you're going to include RJ, what is RJ worth in terms of the others? Like, how many can you take off the board if you include RJ in the trade? I like RJ. I think that, RJ can develop. I like the team the way it's constructed. I think that, they might be a little piece away, but I don't know that Donovan Mitchell is worth that price. That not taking anything away from Mitchell. He gives them some more credibility, but I don't know that he is the answer for what Utah is asking for. Now, if there's no one that they're bidding against, then maybe they can work out something where they don't get fleeced and pull off a deal for Mitchell. But I haven't seen that as historically with the Knicks.
Let's try this, guys. Let's say let's say we don't trade RJ. Let's say everybody takes a scoring cut. Mitchell goes from 25 to 22. RJ goes from 20 to 19. Randall goes from 20 to 18, 19. Brunson gets you hit 16, 17. That's damn near 72 points between four players.
They have to buy in.
Well, everybody got to buy in, Mark, on any team. Well, we could at least say one thing, whether you like them or hate them. Thibodeau is going to create some kind of system and some kind of functionality out of this shit, or he wouldn't sign off. And guess what, guys? We sort of got lucky. I know a lot of people are high on Cam Reddish, but we sort of got lucky. We were trying to get rid of Knox. They were trying to get rid of Reddish. We got Reddish. He's on an expiring contract. So if
he will be gone because he is not going to move the needle next year.
Again, it helps. I guarantee it. It helps both teams, though, Mark. You put him in the package, and Utah only got one
year. Yeah, trade his bum-ass expiring contract.
Yeah, Utah's back in the driver's seat with that one. If you give him, Obi and Quickly, you got two young players, still got 2 years left on their contract, and they're still young, 22, 21 years old, kind of fits their mold of where they're going. And then again, in another year and a half, 2 years, you can get rid of them. So the picks is really what they're after. Let's just be honest. They know they're not getting. Again, great example is Kevin Durant. The Nets thought they were going to get the sky, the moon, and the sun, and he's still on the Nets. So he's going to have to bring his price tag down because he still has to field the team next year. And as of tonight, I haven't heard no rumors, no write-ups of who else is in this bidding war. Maybe Miami, but who can Miami give? Their picks ain't going to be that good. You signed Duncan Robinson to this extraordinary contract. They ain't going to want that. They're trying to get rid of contracts. So again, just as long as the Knicks don't outbid themselves, because they're in the driver's seat. And again, guys, not to knock, but the one thing we got to do as Knicks fans is we got to get out of the past. The things we've done before. We've had a revolving door with presidents, GMs. I wasn't high on this front office because you know what they're doing now is trying to make up for what they effed up last year. We were the best defensive team in the league. They decided to go for scoring, and they gave us Kemba Walker and Fournier. You upset the apple cart. Now you're trying to fix the apple cart, and let's see. I think personally,
they didn't listen. They didn't listen to the coach.
Exactly.
And
you went out and got something.
They didn't listen to what he wanted.
Let me say this, Tom. I don't disagree with you, but it's kind of hard to escape from the past when we're talking about a year ago. A year ago with Kemba and the moves and Fournier, the moves that they made. And so a year later, they're cleaning up after it. So as long as there's still trash on the floor to be cleaned up, it's hard to escape, thinking that we're not talking about a deal that they made 5 years ago. We're talking about a year ago. And then they went into this draft, and I don't know who they got. And then they put all their money, their big free agent splash is Brunson, because they don't have a point guard, because they brought in Kemba, and Kemba was a shell of himself. And Derrick Rose is one injury away from being done. So when you constantly trying to repair what you've messed up, it's kind of hard as a Knicks fan to not look back at the past. I want to be optimistic, but they haven't shown me anything to be optimistic about.
But you're a great example, Dave. You're a Mets fan.
That's right. I'm a long-suffering Mets fan.
Right. And you see how they turned the corner. They got their act together. And we can only hope. I think with the FUBARs they made, the one thing they did was they accumulated assets. We know you're not going to keep 7, 8 draft picks, 10 draft picks for the next 5. We know that's not happening. Some of them picks are going to have to go bye-bye. So they at least did that part right. They had a snafu, and during that snafu, they at least identified the one position that we needed forever. So if they could land another player, hence the reason, only me, guys, I don't work in the front office. But as an outsider looking in, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's the reason they garnered all these picks. They know they're going to keep them. They got to be able, they had to have a plan A and a plan B. And so far, it seems to be working. I mean, if they land Mitchell, we'll all be sitting back saying, man, how many picks next week we won't even know how many picks they gave away. We just be like, oh, they got the guy they wanted. The same way Minnesota got the guy they wanted in Gobert.
So you're telling me that prior to the draft, in the weeks leading up to the draft, when they had their front office meetings, their plan was, we're going to accumulate all these draft picks so we can get Donovan Mitchell?
No,
because he wasn't on the table at the time.
That's what I'm saying. So
publicly,
my point is,
publicly.
Yes, publicly. We all knew this guy wanted to come here. We that's been a given for at least 2 years
wants
now.
To play for the Mets.
And you notice how everybody got all up in arms when the Knicks traded back their 11th pick. Everybody was like, "Oh, you never stop. You never not take a pick." But they got them another late round pick to go with the other 10 damn picks they got. Again, guys, we're talking about 10 picks. These kids ain't even pick up a ball yet. But you're trading. You're trading pieces for a bona fide player. I'm not saying this is a championship team, but if, again, guys, all hypothetical, if they get this, you see where we're going. And again, they'll still have picks. They ain't giving up 10 picks. 4 picks, maybe. Couple of young players, okay. Because right now they're reserves. Everybody that we're even thinking about trading, if you take RJ off the table, none of them were a top 3 pick. Some of them were second round picks. So if we got the most we can out of them and they up their game where somebody might bite off on it, you're getting an all-star player for reserves and some picks. That's my silly mentality.
So when you Dom, when you look at, and I know I said include RJ in that trade, because if you include RJ, that takes away the amount of picks that you have to give, because the numbers that he put up last year, even though they were inflated, they're still numbers. So if you look at, he averaged what, 20 points? How many shots did he have to take to get to that 20?
I'll tell you right now.
What was his shooting percentage?
It was lower than it was the year before that. Every one of the numbers went down except his points. Field goal.
He took 17. He took 17 shots
to make
versus
19 points. To make 19 points.
Hold on. He took 17 shots last year versus 14 shots the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
He shot 44% from the field the previous year and shot 40% last year. From the three, he shot 40% the previous year, and last year he shot 34%.
Right.
He averaged 17 the previous year and averaged 20 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for someone to average 20 points on an NBA level team, you don't need 18 shots or 17 shots or 6 to average 20 points a game, because you got free throws, you got three-pointers. You should only be shooting 10 to 12 shots a game if you're averaging 20 points a game. If you're averaging 20 points a game, you should only be shooting 10 to 12 shots a game. So number one, he was taking way too many shots. Number two, his defense, he can't guard anybody. He can't guard anybody.
So let me ask you this, Bishop. Him and Randall were the main guys shooting, right?
Unfortunately.
Right? Who else?
Unfortunately.
Who else besides Quigley deserves to shoot? Who deserved to shoot last year?
Whoa. All of these guys are NBA level players, so everybody deserves to shoot. If you're on the court and you're running through the offense, anybody should be able to make a layup. Anybody should be able to take an open shot. This is what Tibbs is preaching. This is what the Knicks are preaching.
Sir,
everybody should be giving
your
you
1 and 2.
Who's my 1 and 2? Last season,
Randall and RJ. So
Randall and RJ. And where did that lead us? Where did that lead us? Where did that leave us?
That's not all on them.
What? Whoa! Who else is it on?
Huh?
Who else was out there taking those bad shots, taking step back threes? Who else was out there doing that?
Who else would you rather have shoot?
Who else was out there doing that? So
Who
if you
else
get
would
Donovan, if you trade RJ,
besides Quigley, nobody else.
If you trade RJ, if you trade RJ,
who else is going to shoot?
I'm getting ready to give you my proposal. If you trade RJ, what that does is that puts Randall on notice, because now I got my number one. I got my alpha guy. You either get with the program, play your position, or your ass is going to be out too. I got my number one guy. I can get sidekicks. I got sidekicks already. I got sidekicks that I can put with this guy. Now I can utilize Fournier the way he was supposed to be utilized, because you brought a 42% or 44% three-point shooter for his career. You brought him to your team,
and he got the same numbers he got.
And you did not utilize him. He was supposed to get more numbers. You didn't utilize him. You didn't utilize him. I watched Randall.
He did what he did.
I watched Randall and I watched
else.
RJ. I watched Randall and I watched RJ shoot the majority of the three-pointers, and I watched Fournier sit around watching them shoot. The few games that he did
Whose
get
fault
the
is that?
opportunity.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
That's his teammates. That's the coach. The teammates jacking up those shots. That's the coach for not reining them in. That's their fault. That's their fault. Because if he got the rebound and he brought it down and dribbled the ball for like 16 seconds and then jumped up in the air and threw a wild left-handed speed ball to somebody who's 2 feet away from him, and then get mad when they don't catch the pass, or RJ with the hard left, dribble hard left, go to the basket. It's like,
Bishop, I watched Fournier do what he does everywhere else. He missed a lot of big shots when he should be hitting those, because that's what you paid him to do.
Right.
But the Bishop's point, Mark, when you take the ineptness that the Knicks had shooting from the perimeter, and you didn't utilize this guy the way you should have utilized him when you. I mean, come on, Fournier is Fournier. His numbers have been those numbers for years.
Right.
But you sort of made him like, okay, when we got 4 seconds on the shot clock, if he's open, we're going to throw it to him because we held the ball for 20 of those damn seconds. So you're putting him in a bad position. You actually put him in a position that you didn't get him to do, especially
and
with their ineptness from the perimeter.
Let's bear in mind, we didn't have strong point guard play last year.
Exactly.
Who did you have the ball with?
What?
Who had the ball? Who had the ball?
80%
of the time. Who had the ball?
RJ, but versus hold on. Versus the year before, they didn't have the ball. Were you watching that the year before?
I'm a Knicks fan. I watch every single game. I go
right. So the ball moved, right?
Huh?
The ball moved, right?
No. The ball. Randall took much better shots the season before last. He didn't take all threes.
And the ball moved. Yes.
Nope. He took much better shots. He stayed in the mid-range.
He averaged how many assists? He averaged
seven
before?
assists, 6 or 7.
Yeah. So the ball was moving.
Nah, that's not necessarily what that means. That's not necessarily what that means.
Versus the 4 or 5 assists he had this year. Come on.
Shot selection.
No, I'm in agreement with you, but the ball was moving. They had a better point. They ran they had a better point guard.
It had nothing to do.
They had better point guards the previous year. Yes,
he had 6 assists the year before, 5 assists last year.
It had nothing to do with the point guards. It's his shot selection.
Okay.
No, it was his shot selection. It was his shot selection. So you mean to tell me the season that he was an all-star, the shots that he took and the scoring that he had when he was an all-star,
I agree with you on
was
that.
the same thing that he did last season. That was the same thing he did last season.
No,
you keep talking about this point guard stuff. You keep talking about this point guard stuff when they haven't played with a point guard for how many seasons? They didn't have a point guard. What are you talking about? Derrick Rose was hurt in both those seasons.
Okay,
and in the playoffs,
let's not act like Elfrid Payton wasn't there.
Oh please, my goodness.
Whether you like him or not, whether you like him or not,
I'm done.
I was waiting for that name to come up.
There was a point guard there.
Mac, are you trying to frustrate me?
Nah, you frustrating yourself.
Nah, dude. It's like, dude, how many layups did that dude miss?
Who?
Peyton.
We're not talking about his shooting.
How many layups did he miss?
He missed a lot.
How many screwed up offensive possessions because he can't shoot? It's like, dude, I don't even want to hear that guy's name as far as point guard goes.
You can be all of that about him.
He played.
Other things
Randall played much better the season that he was an all-star with Peyton there. He played much because he made much better decisions.
Yes,
he made
did.
much better shot selection. No, Randall was still a scorer. He was still getting those looks. He took better shots. No, he still took better shots. He still took better shots.
I'm not gonna go back.
The season before last, how many 30-point games did Randall have? The season before last, that contract year, how many 30-point games did he have?
He had a lot.
Is that because the ball moved or he took better shots?
Both.
It's because he made them.
Yeah.
No, he was taking better shots. I said I agreed with you on that.
Oh,
well, he did. In all fairness, he did have a much higher than average 3-point percentage.
Right.
Because he was taking better 3-pointers. What it was is he started from the mid-range, and then when teams decided, hey, we're not going to let this 6'9", 265 bull drive to the basket and get fouls and do all of that stuff, we'll give him the 3-pointer. We'll give him the 3-pointer. We'll give him the jump shot. So he didn't have a lot of pressure on him. He didn't have guys with the hand in his face. He didn't have to do his Kyrie impression, dribble between his legs, behind his back, between his legs again, off his foot, out of bounds, then come back down, dribble the ball off his knee, out of bounds, then come back down, dribble between his legs, step back, take an ugly 3-point shot that hits the back of the rim, or an air ball. And then he had his protege coming down and doing the same thing. ridiculous. I would trade RJ in the second, wait quickly, and a couple of picks, because now they're getting a 20-point scorer back. They're getting a young prospect, and then they're getting two to three draft picks, and keep it pushing. They're not going to get anything else.
I could agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. The inflated stats that RJ had, I'm happy that he had those stats. I'm happy that people are looking. I'm happy that, well, as far as like trade value goes.
Because you trashed him like a half hour ago. Stop it.
No,
he trashed him.
His trade value
You've been
did go up.
You've been trashing him forever. Stop.
For three seasons. But his trade value has gone up because he's had those empty stats. So I'm okay with getting rid of him, because what that does, like I'm telling you, it gives you that alpha male that we don't have in Randall, and it also puts him on notice. So now you either play how you're supposed to play, because we don't need you out there jacking up threes. We got Brunson, we got Mitchell, we got Grimes, we got a bunch of 3-point shooters. We need you in that mid range, go into the basket, make your free throws, make better decisions, and knock all this jacking up threes, step back threes, and all this other nonsense, because that's not your game. It's not your game.
So we yay or nay on Mitchell? I say
neither. If they get him, I'm happy. If they don't, I'm happy.
I say nay.
But I'm saying, if you stand pat, what do you have? If you stand pat, what do you have? What are you working
team
with?
And
you still got
players.
You still got
you're waiting to make a move on another star.
How tall is RJ? 6'5", 6'6"?
No, he's 6'7".
So he's 6'7", and he's playing a forward position when he really should be playing the 2-guard position, but he can't because he doesn't dribble. He doesn't create off for others.
He can't play
shoot.
He can't play the 2 because they had Fournier last year, and this year they're going. If they get Donovan,
let's just be honest. He can't play the 2 because his basketball IQ don't fit it, and his shot don't fit it.
Right.
That's the reason they went and got a guy that could play the 2. No knock against RJ. It is what it is. He's how much, again, you got to preference what you say, but how much better has he gotten since he left Duke? His same deficiencies then are still his deficiencies now. So we're saying there's room for growth. Well, you had 1 year in Duke, which opened our eyes. You had 3 years with the Knicks. And to me, only me, guys, you're still the RJ Barrett I saw playing in the ACC. Remember, he wasn't their shooter. Cam Reddish was actually the shooter. And RJ did his go to the basket routine, which was kind of easy because everybody was queuing in on Zion. But his shot selection was still bad. His field goal percentage was still, his free throw percentage was horrific. And he's only increased that about 6 points. We're talking 3 years of this, guys. We're not talking about, a 19-year-old rookie. We're talking.
Listen, if he shoots he shot 74 the previous year, and he shot 71.
Yeah,
last year, his rookie season, he shot 61% from the free throw line.
It went down, up, down.
I'm happy with him shooting in the 70s.
That's way too low. That's way too low for somebody who's going to have a ball.
Going to the basket mark.
Yeah, that's 70%. Way too low. That's way too
low.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it is what it is.
Who did they think they were getting when they drafted him?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. And for me, who watches the ACC, like I tell y'all, I didn't see it. I did not. Matter of fact, guys, I know this sounds crazy, but I had Cam Reddish going ahead of him in the draft.
Wow.
And he's a better player than Cam Reddish.
No, he's not. Cam Reddish has been hurt. But when you talk about fluid, length, defense, can shoot, and go to the basket, he was always better than RJ Barrett, except when they came out of high school. But when they went to Duke together, you saw it instantly. There's other than his injuries, guys, he's one of those guys you look at and say, I can really ball. He checks a lot of the boxes. He actually did check a lot of the boxes. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but even being hurt, he averaged 14, 15 points. I mean,
I want y'all to know something. If you're looking at your screen, there's a giddy Brooklyn Nets fan. He's just eating this whole thing up.
I see him.
We gotta get to
I
you
see
in a
him
minute.
smirking and giggling.
Yeah, he's loving it.
But we're talking about possibly upward mobility. He's sitting there giggling, saying, "We still got Kyrie and Durant."
Whatever.
Can't trade neither one. You know
Whatever.
You notice how he's avoiding that, Dave.
I just wanted don't think we don't see you over there.
Yeah, he can't afford to say anything with the
I can say whatever the hell I want to say.
Telemundo episode.
He's like that bad,
whatever I would like to say.
Bad kid where the other kid gets in trouble and he's like giggling over on the side.
The never ending Telemundo episode of the novellas.
And we're still better than your team.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I know. Still better than your team.
Is that with hurt feelings or without hurt feelings?
Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're still better than your
Oh
squad.
yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it does.
Doesn't matter. We'll see.
You see how it Matt, did you see how that whole team imploded because somebody's feelings was hurt?
Would you care for a gentleman's bet, sir? I pay my debts.
About what?
About who has the better team. Who will have the better record?
Who will have the better record?
Yes.
Between the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Novellas?
Yes.
You sure you want to do that?
I'm positive. I brought it up. I'm positive. I pay my debts, even though I bet Mac all the time. Of course, I never lose. So.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. I'll take that bet.
Okay. All right.
I'll take that.
What's the parameters?
I got a 50 spot.
50?
Yeah.
I got that too.
Okay.
50?
50.
50.
That's it.
Cash App?
Cash App.
Yeah. Zelle. Whatever.
All right. Y'all want to give one of us the money to hold and then...
Man, why you gotta do that? Get the hell out of here.
Hey, he's like, I got cash app.
So like, yo, send me that 100. Send me that 100.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
I'll hold it for y'all in my PayPal.
I don't think Dave was looking to bogart the money. I think he was looking to not trust neither one of you guys.
Yeah.
No, listen. He wanted that 100 because this is anniversary. He want to take his wife out to get something to eat. I see you.
Oh man, whatever. Let's move. Let's do some more moving on. Let's do some more moving on in NBA. I'm tired of this Nick talk.
All right.
Let's get to some other stuff. Moving on. Phoenix Suns, they matched the Indiana Pacers offer of 4 years for $133 million for center DeAndre Ayton. I gotta tell you, honestly, I have no interest in this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no. I could care less. Stay, you go. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
Phoenix had to do something because they couldn't just let him walk away.
So now, is this gonna prompt a sign and trade? Possibly.
Well, they can't make a trade with the Nets. They can make trades, and they can't. I think they can't move Ayton for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, because of that rookie deal.
Gotcha. So
which blows up the Nets' possibility of the first trade we heard about, a sign and trade with Ayton. The Nets get Ayton, Bridges, and I forgot what else.
Right.
So now that's off the table. So the Nets are still in limbo. Yeah. I think the Suns benefited. I think they did it, kind of side-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that. They really should have signed this kid last year. They put him through all this, and you know what? At the end of the day, he got his money. He gets to stay where he's at. I have no nickel in that dime.
Right.
It blows the Nets' opportunity.
So did him and the coach going to be able to work together because he was extremely mad during the playoffs.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's in the heat of the battle and the immaturity. Because so from what I saw when I looked at it, looked like Monty Williams was like cursing. It's like, I'll fuck you up, dude. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I'll put my Bible down and lay some hands on you. So don't get it twisted.
Don't let all this Christianity. You know.
Exactly. The
God
Bible,
will.
this book says smite those, and I'm using smite. You know, don't get it
Let me
twisted.
take my belt off. I am 6'8".
Yeah.
But no,
yeah.
I think it's a good deal. Even though they were not trying to pay this young man. I have to say this about Indiana. You didn't want to pay Sabonis. You got rid of Brogdon. And now you want to spend money on DeAndre Ayton. What are y'all doing over there?
But that would have been a good deal because you got your point guard. You got your point guard in Halliburton. Sabonis was going to be on the end of his contract this year. You got a shooter, and if you got the big man, you got LeVert. So they actually, they tried because that would have been a good missing piece. They would have had a big man to go with the shooting they had and a point guard.
Right, and they still want to get rid of the power forwards. Get rid of Turner.
Yeah, he's been on the block since he came out of elementary school.
I don't know why.
That dude been getting traded every year.
He's always hurt. He's always hurt.
Yeah, he's always getting traded.
So Bishop, do you think they traded the wrong guy? They should have kept Sabonis and traded Turner?
No, with those young guns that they got in Indiana, they need a big man that can get up and down, somebody that can block shots, protect the rim. Sabonis he's a low post threat, but he's not the big that you need with those guys.
Right. He does a lot of different things.
Right. But he's
not Julius Randle without he's Julius Randle without the color.
No, he's better than Julius Randle. I take him.
He stays within himself.
That's debatable.
No, he stays within himself. I'll give him.
I would take him over Julius Randle any day of the week.
For sure. Believe it.
That's a push.
No, he's a better player. He's a better player.
I don't think it's a push, bro.
Randle's too helter-skelter up and down. Sabonis is steady. He's going to get you 20 points, 7, 8 to 10 rebounds. He's going to shoot from a high percentage. He's a smart player. Randle is...
No, somewhere along the line, Mac. Somewhere along the line, I don't know.
And that's not to say I don't dislike Randle. Yeah.
I don't know who told him that he had to score 30 points tonight. I don't know. Randle. I don't know. Somewhere along the line, he felt like it was his mission or his job to score 30 points a night.
Last year? You talking about this year that just passed?
This season that passed.
Now look at it this way. Rose got hurt, and Kimba wasn't Kimba, so
that's still no excuse, Mac.
I'm in agreement with you.
You don't feel that having a contract added pressure to him wanting to be the man and feeling like
that's even you getting paid. Your money is guaranteed, so you just stay within.
Here's the other thing. He came in out of shape. He was surly with people associated with the Knicks, like other teammates to a degree, and other components of the team, like coaches and
the fans.
He was surly with the fans. When you get the big money, that's what comes with the big money. Lots of attention. The spotlight is on you.
Yeah. So for me, so you made a comment earlier about what Coach Tibbs and he didn't agree with the players and this and that.
Right.
Your title on the same accord. Your title is coach. Coach. What that means is you coach whatever we present to you. That's what you coach. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out,
that's not smart. That's not smart.
You can say, well, again, you're not in Minnesota anymore. You don't have personnel power. You're not the guy who makes the decisions on who comes and who stays or who goes. You're not that guy anymore.
That's not smart business, though.
No. Your coach is your coach. Your GM is the guy who determines who goes and who stays, not the coach.
I'm gonna mention a guy. Y'all know I don't like him.
Who?
Mike D'Antoni. He doesn't like big men, so you wouldn't get him big men, would you? Or traditional big men.
That was Morey and D'Antoni.
But that's always been D'Antoni.
No,
he doesn't like big men.
But again, we're not talking. We're talking about New York Knicks in New York City. You coach who you have. That's what you do. You don't scapegoat. You don't scapegoat. You was only going to use this guy for one season. You will only use the plan was to only use him for one season anyway, even though you gave him 2 years.
People
Even
have
though
egos, and you know how coaches do. If that
Dude.
coach doesn't care for a person, he's not going to use them. Seen
Only
it
thing that
millions and millions of
Right.
times with other coaches and players.
But that's a mistake because only thing you needed
I
to
agree.
do,
That's fair. I agree.
only
with
thing
you.
you needed to do was if you wheeled them, put a band-aid on them, taped them up, get your 10 points, your 5 assists, run the offense, and keep it pushing. I'm only using you for one season. I gave you a 2-year deal. That's an expiring contract. I can trade you someplace else. You did 2 things. You scapegoated him last season. You gave Randall and RJ more rope for the fluckery that they were doing on the court. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you would have pulled their coattails early in the season, hey, he's not the player that he used to be. However, he can give you at least 10 points a night and 5 assists. And there's some games that he may give you 20 points a night. But at minimum, he could give you 10 points, 5 assists, let the dude do his job. That's it.
No,
That's it.
we
But because
supposed
he
to
didn't
work.
like him, he decided to
Mhm.
scapegoat him. The reason why we're not playing the way we're supposed to play is because Kemba is in the starting lineup. Take him out the starting lineup, it got worse.
The way corporations work, it's supposed to be a collaborative effort. You
No,
did not collaborate with the coach.
No.
You went
No.
and got what you wanted.
again, on your job, what's your title?
Who, me?
Yeah, what's your title on your job?
Assistant office manager.
Okay, does the president or the CEO, do they run decisions by you based on how they run their business? Do they come to you and say, hey, Mac,
Certain
Mac, what do you
things
think about
they
this?
do run by us.
If it has to do with the office and so forth and so on, but if it has to do with profitability and so forth, do they run the business model by you and
No,
say, hey, what do you
course
agree? Dave, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm a parent coordinator in the high school.
Okay. When the principal or when the city council is figuring out what the budget is, do they come to you and say, hey, what do you think about this budget? Do you think we're allocating enough money in this resources in this area? Do they ask you?
They don't, but they also don't hold me accountable when the kids fail.
Right. So again, if it fails, that's not on me. I coached. I did my job to the best of my ability with the
But
parts that you gave me.
that's not the
With the
coaches and the GM. The GM and the coaches relationship is to be a collaborative effort. Yes,
So I
the
think
GM has a final say on players, but he should speak to the man. What do you want? What do you need? I can get
so.
A, B, and C because we
Mhm.
have this money allotted to get A, B, and C.
So
He did
if
not do that. He chose to take away defensive players and bring in offensive players, and it did not work.
Yeah. I mean, they brought Tibbs in because he had a particular coaching style.
Right.
So if you don't give him the players that match that style, it's
That's
kind of
wrong.
unfair to say, well, you coach who I gave you.
That's scapegoating. That's scapegoating.
But no,
That's not
you got to
scapegoating.
look at this too. To Dave's point, you brought him in to do a certain job. We all knew what he was about,
Right.
and by golly, he accomplished that mission his first year on the job.
Yeah, exactly. He did.
Right.
And then I'm to the point now, guys, where okay, we won one, we lost one. Now it's time to get our shit together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did the right thing. That was the biggest splash the Knicks made with this new regime in the beginning, was they got the coach they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the coach you wanted, and the coach gave you what he gives you. And then you decided, oh, we're holding teams to 100 points, but we're only scoring 103. The NBA is scoring 150. We got to try to catch up. Okay, snafu. You made a boo-boo. Let's suck it up. Again, we won one, we lost one. Let's see what happens. Now everybody should have the cobwebs out their head. They know what we got. They know what kind of coach we got. Let's all sit back and say, you know what? Because you can't. I'm not defending Tibbs, but again, you go back to his first year. He gave you what Tibbs gives you. He didn't go out and get Kemba Walker. He didn't go out and get Evan Fournier.
He told
He
him not.
didn't-
He told him not to get. He did not want Kimball Walker.
He
Again,
wanted to keep Bullock. But all that being said, guys, I hate to say it's water under the bridge, because at least they came to some consensus that, you know what, this
Kimball Walker
franchise
was a
needed a
bad
point
move.
guard for 25 years. We at least check that box. Whether we get Donovan Mitchell or Moses Malone, we finally checked that box, a box in which they dropped the ball twice. They dropped the ball in the draft with Halliburton. Then they dropped the ball with Halliburton was on the market to get traded. So you dropped that ball twice. Okay, all the balls have been dropped. The balls have been picked up. They're put back in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move forward and see what we got, with or without Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Are we still talking about DeAndre Ayton?
Nope.
Yeah, got all
well,
about it.
nobody cares about.
Nobody
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 cares
cares
about
about that.
that.
Exactly.
I agree with R. Nobody cares about that.
Exactly. Thank
Can we move on to the next?
Oh, look at you chomping at the bit, are we? Oh, really? Okay, let's get into it. Brooklyn Nets extend general manager Sean Marks' contract. The Nets are 217 wins against 255 losses under his watch. Okay. I hear the snickering already.
No.
David trying to get at me. Yeah.
No,
okay.
no,
It's on
Yes,
you
did.
now.
It's
R.
on you.
Yeah, you
The
got
floor
damn right.
is
It's on me.
yours.
You're damn right. Let
We're
me tell
gonna
you
sit
something.
back and enjoy this fuckery.
Fuckery it is. I will say this. I will give the Bishop a little bit of credit. Okay? Because long ago, when this man was made general manager, I applauded this move. I did. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was all in for it. He messed up big time. I'm not gonna lie. When you gave the keys to two players on a coaching decision, that's where you effed
And
up.
player decisions.
I put the coaching even more.
They got players they wanted too.
Well, let me finish my statement, Mac. Thank you so much. What I'm saying is that coaching one was a big one. I understand about the players too, but that I'll just say it like this. That combination killed it right there. Did him in big time. You understand? And now with the whole, as Bishop pointed out, with the whole how he handled that Kyrie situation with the pandemic and all that other bullshit. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm kind of like wondering, why would you offer him a contract? How long is that contract for?
They didn't say.
Oh, they didn't release any details. Okay. I will say this. I will give him a year, maybe even 2, depending how I feel. Okay, when I wake up tomorrow. I would give him a year or 2 and see what happens from there. Because he totally screwed the pooch with that move, with those 2 moves, with the player personnel and also when the handling the whole coaching situation, letting these 2 jackasses decide, oh, we don't need a coach. Let's get rid of this guy and bring in Steve Nash of all people, which is ridiculous. It was a horrible move. And the player personnel, even more stupider, horrible. That's all I got. That's all I got for now. I'm sure I'll be chiming in on your foolish opinions. I know because you guys are going to come at me with that bullshit. So let's get it going.
I wish I had the Vincent Price laughter.
Whatever.
From the past.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Look, Sean Marks is, to me, I think he started off decently. Because the team was, when they had him and Kenny Atkinson together, they were building up players. They even went to a playoffs. And then he decided to, I'm going to get any and every big name I can get. I'm going to even get a big name coach who never coached. And what has it done? Nothing. They are in disarray. They are laughing stock now.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're laughing.
Whoa. I'm not letting that one slide, son. Yeah,
Yes.
you got that right. Get out of here.
They are laughing stock.
No, they're not.
They definitely don't. They are in this city.
It's Clown Central Station.
Jesus. All right,
You got,
whatever.
you got
And I agree
three
with you.
stooges.
He should get a it should be he got 2 years, and if things don't change with the Nets, he got to go bye-bye.
I agree. I could agree.
Sometimes, when you're in a leadership position, there's a time you're going to take the sword when you shouldn't be taking the sword. You just got to take the sword today. That's all. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Because you know what's weird?
As my deceased friend used to say, rest in peace. EBI.
The strange thing about this. We've talked about the Knicks for about an hour and 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nets did exactly what we always blame the Knicks for. Let's go get the names. We don't care who they are. We're going to get the names. And what happened? I'll tell you this, guys. I have to at least give our little alibi.
No,
you went out and got two big fish. You just didn't factor in the mentality of these two fishes.
True.
And one dude's mentality was already on full display. Let's just keep it real. It's not like Kyrie Irving got to the Nets and decided to be this Kyrie Irving.
Right.
You know, with pandemic, without pandemic, without riots, without social issues. He's been who he is. If you thought he was going to change, God bless you. You know, we all should have faith in something. But it didn't work. And now you're stuck. And like I said earlier with the Donovan Mitchell trade, it don't seem that easy for you to just wave some magic wand, get rid of this, start over, and get back equal talent. That's the real bad part about all of this. Something good is not coming out of this. I'm sorry to say that.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
You're not getting nothing good for this.
So
no,
I'm no Brooklyn Novellas fan.
We know. No, really. Wow, that's a shocker.
Far from it. Far from it.
Right.
But 27 points a game, 42% from the field, 45% from the three-point line, 90 something% from the free throw line, and I'm not even talking about KD. KD giving you 30 points on like 12 shots, shooting like 90 something% from the free throw line, shooting 40 something% from the three, and you screw that up. Like, how do you do that? As a GM, how do you do that? I'm not even bringing Harden into the mix. I'm not even factoring him in. How do you muff up generational talent? Like, teams, GMs salivate for their whole GM careers getting this type of talent on their roster. How do you muff that up? You want to know how? I'll tell you how. You muff it up being a media whore. Number one, being a media whore.
Yes, he is.
So, and when I say media whore, doing anything he can for a soundbite. Because it's like, again, you listen to all of these commentators and all of this stuff, and then that's what you base your opinion or your statements on as a GM. He didn't have to take on that whole vaccination, unvaccinated. He didn't have to take that on. Pay the fines, let Kyrie play. It's New York. Nobody will remember next week. Keep it pushing. He decided to get up on that soapbox. I said this before. He decided to get up on that soapbox and tell Kyrie he can't be around a team, he can't do this, he can't do that. Everybody was getting COVID. Whether you vaccinated, unvaccinated, everybody was in protocol, everybody was getting it. So whether he was vaccinated or unvaccinated, they got some of the best medical care that money could buy. Let the guy play, pay the fines, make sure he stays away from, outside stuff, and keep it pushing. I don't understand what this whole thing was. We want guys who buy in. We want guys to do this. He's there, so obviously he's bought in. He's part of your team. The productivity that he's giving you when he's on the court is undeniable. You could say whatever you want. I'm no Kyrie fan. Say whatever you want about his quirkiness, about his craziness, his far-fetchedness, I'm on Ramadan, but I'm going to tell people to suck on Ramadan, the most holiest time. You know what I'm saying? Like all of my Muslim brothers, when people are speaking out of term or saying stuff, their response is peace be unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Peace be unto you. But he decided to take, so again, like for all of that, he's still giving you 27 points a night, shooting 42% from the field, 45% from the field, 42% from 3-point line, 90-something% from the free throw line. Durant, again, like I said, 30 points a night, shooting 10 to 15 shots. Where you gonna get that from? Where else you gonna get that from? And it's like, how do you muff that up?
He was taking
Please.
more than 15 shots.
No, Kevin Durant was giving the Nets on some nights 25, 30 points a night, just taking 10 to 15 shots, free throws, other stuff like that.
He was taking
Factor
more
in some,
than that, bro.
how many shots did he average?
I'm about to tell you. But keep talking.
No, I'm just saying, how do you muff that up? It's like no GM in the history of GMness is going to screw that up. It just doesn't happen. And I think what they did was they're giving him an opportunity to fix it. They're giving him an opportunity to fix it.
Right. He better.
And they're giving him an opportunity to fix it. I do believe that when the season starts, the two of them will still be Brooklyn Nets. And hopefully they'll be out of their feelings. Hopefully they'll be out of their feelings so that it'll give the young guys that they had last season an opportunity to get on the court and show that they've gotten better.
KD was taking 20 shots a night, bro.
Well, since we're talking about hopefully, when you take out everything Bishop said, there's always one common denominator, and that's Kyrie Irving. I don't care what he averages. Your best ability is availability. And he's found somehow, some way, whether it's COVID, the sun ain't shining the right way, or I got to go to the club. It's always something with him. This can't be, pushed down the court no more. He's done it everywhere he's been. Would it have been a bad idea to just get Kevin Durant? Was it really that set in stone that Durant wouldn't come if Kyrie wasn't there? If that's the case, then
that's why the Nets didn't give him a long-term contract.
And if that was
his availability,
the case,
that's why he
if that was the case, Mark, that means all three of y'all deserve, however you split a dime up between three people, 3.3 something cents. Y'all all had that money in your pocket. Because the GM bought into it, knowing the history. Durant bought into it, chasing his butt buddy, not knowing his history. And this is what you have. So,
right. He also lost his sneaker deal because they said you're not available. So we don't need you to sell us.
I mean, I'm not denying what Bishop said about the COVID thing. Yeah, they could have took one for the team. But again, with Kyrie's history, what would it have been after that? Because even when he was available, he wasn't available.
Well, he didn't show up in the playoffs.
No.
Not to mention his play on the court. I'm just saying his pure, hey, Mark, me, you, and ours good. 8 o'clock in the morning, Kyrie's talking about, spreading sage across the city somewhere else, and he wasn't there for it.
Well, he did that during his Drew League.
Yeah, that's been his
Drew League.
Yeah.
Him and LeBron was supposed to show up. What was it, Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah. Saturday.
Saturday. And LeBron came, and Kyrie was a no-show. Now they said that he was at some camp, some basketball camp.
But see, again, Kyrie is smarter than we think because he said this, he didn't do that, but oh boy, to get out of jail free card was great.
Yep.
He wanted to go to the Mamba Academy. Oh, because of the relationship he has with Kobe. But you knew what day that tournament was. You knew what day the Drew thing was. Again, you don't know which side of the damn fence this guy is on half the time.
Well, to your point, though, Kyrie, I'll give him credit. He may be smarter than we think he is, but we're not as dumb as he thinks we are.
Thank you. Great point, David.
Right.
Because I didn't do a year at Duke, so
yeah. Well,
he didn't do a year at Duke either.
That doesn't even
Exactly,
that doesn't
Mark.
even
Thank
count.
you.
He's on the campus.
That doesn't even count. It's like just because you was enrolled doesn't mean that you learned anything. That
Or
you know
even went to class. He played
exactly.
11 games,
I'm,
so I know he
I'm pretty
wasn't.
sure Dave caught my sarcasm in
Yes.
that, but hey.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He got injured.
Again,
He was
it's
back.
his reliability,
as
guys.
as the
Nobody's
GM,
denying the great stats that Bishop gave us. Nobody's denying that.
Listen, I was watching some highlights of Kyrie. When Kyrie is healthy, the dude is nasty.
No, it
Right.
definitely is. That's what makes it so frustrating.
no,
His talent is otherworldly.
what I'm saying.
Again,
But
he's
that's
never
the other
available.
oxymoron, Mark.
Mhm.
You're saying when he's hurt. There's
Right.
times he misses shit and he ain't even
Right.
hurt.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He
as the
just be
GM,
like, oh, I don't want to play today. Okay.
what I'm saying, as the GM, it's your job to understand your personnel, especially the players that you have mortgaged the team for. It's your job to understand those two
Well,
guys. It's your
Listen,
job.
he thought, hey, I got KD, I got Kyrie, it's all gravy. Oh, and we got Harden too. This is easy.
Yeah. But to
What did
kick
I
back
say?
on,
What did I say? I said this is either gonna work or it's gonna be ridiculously bad.
I didn't even say that. I said it wasn't going to work.
but to kick back on what Bishop said 10 minutes ago
Oh,
about Randall and his bad shots, sooner or later, guys, with the coach, with the GM, not taking sides, some things are individual tasks. And one of those individual tasks is you showing up. We can't keep quoting your stats. But when you get a bug up your ass or whatever's happening between here, China, Yugoslavia, you want to put that ahead of your job. Again, that's your decision. That's your personal choice. But you are a member of this team. So again, Sean Mark bought into this. He got to get an X on this. Kevin Durant bought into it. He got to get an X for this. And now he can't even find an exit.
So,
Who's going to take him on? And how
How
are the Nets going to get back something?
Right
but I'm saying, as the GM, I got to tell you, in my mind, and I could be totally wrong about this. In my mind, as the GM, it is your job to be the team psychiatrist, the team mommy, the team.
That don't
No,
work
that's the
today.
coach's job.
Especially no.
GM
Not
That
in
don't
this,
work today, Bishop.
not in this particular instance. In this particular instance, you think they're going to Steve Nash? You think Kyrie Irving is going to Steve Nash to talk to Steve Nash about? Steve Nash is finding out about it just like everybody else,
Well,
just like you and me.
They
Just
brought
like
him
you and
in
me.
so they wouldn't
hold
have
on.
to go with him.
That's the guy they wanted, though. That's the
Yeah,
guy
so-
him and Kyrie wanted.
Let me
They did not
say,
want Kenny
you know
Atkinson.
what this is like? This is like the kids who want a particular teacher and say, "Oh, give me that teacher," because then you know that when they go in there, they're going to be running the classroom.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, give me
Yep.
Miss So and So. Give me the. You know what they thought they were getting a big three with Kyrie, KD, and Harden, and they wound up giving us a game of 3-card Monte on the corner of Flatbush and Atlantic. That's really what we got.
Some people, Dave. Some people still standing there with the $20 in their hand.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
Still
exactly.
standing there.
waiting
Still
to get
standing there.
fleeced.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Still
what
standing
they
there.
were. They were all in on it.
Right,
I
off.
love Bishop's
Whatever.
I love Bishop's optimism.
Whatever.
I love Bishop's optimism. But in today's world, Bishop, especially in sports, that don't happen. You could have the GM could be, you know, a real clinical psychologist. But when you give this much power and
To the
you
players.
let them
Right.
what do you do? I'm not defending Mark. Like I said, he gets an X, Durant gets an X. Kyrie's just in where he wants to be, a totally different box.
Yeah.
But to say you can rein this in nowadays, no, that ain't happening.
Hold
If
on.
you think about it,
Hold on.
but I'm saying if you think about it, sometimes you can give the illusion of power without really giving power. So as the GM, I might accept your input in the decision that is being made, but you're not allowed to make that decision. Now, I'm not going to say I don't believe that the GM relinquished his role as the GM and allowed them to make these decisions. I think he placated them. But
Mm,
again, in that sense, it's kind of like I can give you the sense of power by taking your opinion into consideration. It doesn't mean that I have to act on it. Now, if I did put myself in that position, then it behooves me as the GM to figure out whatever the equation is behind the scenes, what makes you two guys tick so that I can get you and keep you on the floor producing what you produce until I can get some other parts or whatever to complement what you guys bring to the table.
Hmm.
Now, you
All right.
can't even do that. You can't even do that because you in the media taking shots at Kyrie. You in the media taking shots at this dude. And the two of them are like, what did you say, butt buddies? The two of them are one and the same. The reason why one came is because the other came. So again, like, how do you think that makes Mr. Sensitivity feel if you
Ralph
dumping on
Tresvant.
his man? If you
right.
dumping on
But
his man?
Bishop,
Hold
you know
on,
what I
hold on,
want you to do for me?
hold on,
I want
hold
you to
on.
turn your camera around and prove to me you're in Charlotte because you sound like you in Montana on that Zen shit. That
Hold
don't
on
work
now.
no more, man.
Oh, oh,
That just don't work.
What's up?
You talking that Zen master stuff, man. That don't work in today. That's the reason Phil Jackson don't have a damn job.
hold on,
That don't
dog.
work with these players.
Hold on. They did. He did listen to what they wanted, and he got them what they wanted. They wanted DeAndre Jordan. He got them DeAndre Jordan. Kenny Atkinson realized DeAndre Jordan couldn't play as much as he was shot as a player. So they got mad when he didn't want to play DeAndre Jordan. And then they got Kenny Atkinson up out of here because they didn't want Kenny Atkinson.
Let me just fire off this shot, please.
Uh-oh.
To the Bishop. You made a reference about the 3-car Monty out on Atlantic.
Oh, I
And
did. That
oh,
wasn't Bishop. That
well,
was me.
no, he said about the $20 thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I still got my 20, and I'm still playing. I'm gonna
That's
still be playing.
that's because you don't know how to get to Atlantic and Flatbush.
Whatever. I'm still playing my 20, and I have faith.
I'll pick you up and
It's
I'll
gonna
take
work.
you there. I'll drop
Thank
you
you
off.
very much. But it's gonna work out. I got 20. It's still gonna work out. It's still gonna work out.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you muff that up. This is like one of the worst like in the NBA history.
Well,
How many other
Mm.
situations?
In the 75 years of the
Yeah,
NBA history,
how many other situations have you known that a GM has actually muffed up a situation with two generational players? Well,
three.
three generational talent players on the
Let's see.
same
I
crew.
would throw out the Houston Rockets with
I,
Barkley and
I
Pippen.
would go as far as last year. The damn Lakers did it. They decided to go with the over the hill gang, get rid of all their young players,
No, I'm
and
talking
now
about guys
you're
that were
stuck
capable
with
of
this.
playing. Guys that were
But
capable of playing. AD brushes his teeth and he's got a thrown out shoulder. That's not
that's what
Kevin
I'm
Durant.
getting at.
Call him
But
by
that's
his
what I'm
government
getting at,
name, street
Bishop.
clothes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at. You put that guy, not to defend Mark, but that guy put his eggs in the best
Mhm.
2003 basketball team, except he didn't look at the calendar and
Right.
notice it was
And
2021.
have we ever seen a guy force his way to two teams in a year like
Mm-mm.
James Harden did?
Not that I know of, Mark. No,
Nah,
That's
honestly, no.
incredible.
But that's where he wanted to be originally, and he had to just go via the Nets because Houston would not deal him to Philly.
Did y'all hear what he said?
Houston didn't want to deal him to Philly.
No, well, he said Harden said recently, he said, yo, spend all the money you want, give me the rest. I'm here to win. I'm gonna do everything I can to win.
whatever.
And
And then
yada yada
and
yada.
then in his next breath, he was promoting his $13.99 bottle of wine.
I ain't mad at him. Hey, listen, he lost
Hey.
12 million because he went from 40 something I think the new contract they're giving him 35.
But here's the catch, Mark. You didn't let me finish.
Okay,
He promoted his $13.99 bottle of wine. He ain't say it tastes great. You know what he said?
What?
It got swag.
Oh.
His wine got swag. How do you taste swag? I don't know. I'm not that young, guys.
Are you a
know
wine
how you
drinker?
get swag
Well, that's
with
right. You
wine,
don't drink
but
anymore. So
no. And if I did, I don't think I would go buy
You said the strippers
our
love
bottle of wine because it had swag. R got to tell me something. You know, it was from the fine grapes of Italy or some shit. Swag.
Let's move on.
Oh.
The commissioner. Adam Silver says Kevin Durant's trade request isn't good for the NBA.
Oh man.
Adam Silver ain't good for the NBA.
Whoa.
I said it. Damn right I said it.
Why so, sir?
Every move he's made was one strictly about the dollars and strictly backfired him. Here's what confuses me about this guy. You let players manipulate this load management shit that you said you was going to put a halt on in January. You say the players manipulated this movement while under contract. You said you was going to put a handle on that. But here's what your plan is. We're going to give out summer league rings. We're going to try to have an in-season tournament with the same guys that are taking load management. And you're going to get what out of this? More TV revenue? Okay. Hey, if it's we had this conversation during COVID, fellas. Mm-hmm. If it's about the money, it's about the money. Right. Is it making the product better? No. Is all his rhetoric making the product better? No. He is, I hate to say this, every ball he's touched, somehow, some way, it got fucked up. The bubble fucked up. The threats of not playing in the bubble when you canceled the season, but then you said, oh shit, May 15th is coming. These contracts are going to stop. We got to come up with a plan B. And now you got up in the air. Dave don't want to go to the bubble. Mark's questionable going to the bubble. And now we forgot who won the championship in the bubble. This is all on your watch, man. I don't give a shit what he says anymore. Until he does some action, the hell is he going to talk about Kevin Durant's trade isn't good for the NBA? We've seen this movie before. Shit, we just seen it 2 minutes ago. Mark just said one guy forced his way off of 2 teams in 1 year.
Well,
but now you got an epiphany with Kevin Durant.
In basketball and in sports, guys have forced their way off of teams. They've asked for trades while still under contract. This is nothing new what Kevin Durant has done.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Barkley did it. Quite a few players did it. So chasing rings. But I think Barkley did it twice. Chasing rings.
He did it in Phoenix as well.
Yeah. So he got to Phoenix and he got out of Phoenix and went to Houston. So when he opens up his big fat mouth to say, hey, this is that, they only following your lead, bro.
Yep.
You did it before. So
he can. I think he called Kevin Durant a bus driver. Charles, you didn't want to be the driver of the bus. Stop fronting, bro. When you were in fact, you were a passenger on the 76ers when Doc Moses, Cheeks, and
was it Tony on the
Tony and Bobby Jones.
Jones.
You were in the back of that bus.
But you wasn't driving it. You notice what I didn't say. I didn't blame the player. I'm just talking about his rhetoric that we're talking about, as I always say, on that blue strip with white letters. I'm talking about what the hell he's saying.
Yeah.
You both nailed it. This has happened since who knows when. It happens in basketball, baseball.
Yeah, but you can't hold him responsible.
All the time.
You can't hold him responsible for that because
what I'm getting at, Bishop, is again reading the blue strip. Adam Silver says, "What are you? First of all, Adam, what are you gonna do about this? What can you do about this? Are you as Bishop said about Marks? Are you a media hoe? Are you looking for clicks? Because if you don't have a solution to that, which there basically is none, why are you uttering this shit out your mouth? Because you know why he's uttering it? Because you got 50% saying the players could have their empowerment. You got the other 50% saying they should uphold their contract. So now you want to sneak somewhere in the middle, but you ain't got no solution for this. So just shut your mouth.
Well, you just play both
Shut
sides.
up.
You just play both sides.
Exactly.
Because when you with the players, you say, "Yeah, I'm all for it. You guys deserve this," and so forth. But then when you in the media, because you got all of
Or with
these,
the owners.
you got all of these sports pundits and everybody getting all up in arms about, oh well, these guys honor the contract, and somebody posted something, and I think I made a point about it, and I saw the Richard Jefferson post, and I was like, yo, this makes a lot of sense too.
What
Why
Richard
aren't
Jefferson post?
he
I missed
posted something on Twitter, which pretty much was saying, hey, Donovan Mitchell never asked for a trade. He's under contract. He signed a contract with the Utah Jazz. Why aren't people up in arms that the Utah Jazz is looking to move him? When he didn't request a trade, he's there. Why are they looking to move him? He's under contract.
That's
So
because
it only
that's
works for.
the owners and the team's prerogative.
Oh,
I don't agree with all of that
So it
because
only works one way.
Yeah,
But in
I
that-
think
in
I
that-
saw that too.
In that case, guys, we don't even know because one, he hasn't been traded. We don't know because again, we feed into all this rhetoric, especially in the NBA. You know, we see it every draft, every trade deadline. You hear all of these. A Woj bomb is coming. Chubby Windhurst got the inside scoop, and none of it happened.
Well,
So
Woj
now
is
you're
usually correct. I respect.
He ain't correct on Jack. He's correct on when it happens. That's
Right.
all he's correct on. Because just
I
like the
respect
draft,
him though.
let me get. I can't buy into that, guys. Because what really threw me for a loop was draft night. They had this kid going number 1. 2 minutes before the pick, when we already knew who the pick was going to be, Woj tries to drop a Woj bomb. Well, the Magic decided to go. No, they didn't. The Magic never told you who they were drafting. They never told you that. They gave the coin to the commissioner and said, with the number 1 pick, the Orlando Magic select Mark Cunningham. Now, all of a sudden, we got all these stories of what they did. No.
How was I the number
Just
1
stop.
pick? My bank account ain't changed though.
No, but the thing I'm getting at is you're opening your mouth. And we can't even put Donovan Mitchell in this category yet because we don't even know nothing. We don't know if the Knicks actually offered this. We don't know if he actually axed out.
He didn't publicly ask for a trade, but we all
Right.
know that
we don't know this stuff. But we don't know if he went behind the scenes either, Mark, and said, "Hey, guys,
right." But I was
if
going
there
to
is a
say,
chance
but
for you to move me,
we all know he wants to be in.
we
New
don't
York.
know.
That's his goal is
Right.
he's always wanted to be in New York. But again, he never.
So we're gonna take
said
that
he
and
wanted
we're
to
gonna
be-
take that and run with it, Mark. We're gonna throw this kid under the bus and just
Well, I'm not
take a
throwing him under the
snippet from
bus.
3
What I
years
was gonna-
ago.
What I was going to say is he's never there's no public record of him saying he wanted to be traded. From
Exactly.
Utah either. So,
But again, to Bishop's point, with all these media hoes and this clickbait, it's sort of like, and I hate to say this, it's sort of like the media and even to some degree these professional owners are getting their shit from social media. Well, I seen 100 retweets that we should trade Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. And why can't people, again, maybe I live in a naive world. Why can't people just be honest and say, hey, we are looking to move Dave? Donovan Mitchell told us he would like if we tried to move.
Is Donovan Mitchell guys old that if I was the owner of his team and I'm looking to trade him, I would come to him, listen, Dave, we about to trade you.
Exactly. Or again,
out.
Mark, if Mitchell wanted out, I see the direction you guys are going, and I'm not really built for this long-term shit. If you can possibly move me. But again, you haven't heard that. You're just hearing all of this clickbait.
I want to go back to Bishop's point that he raised, what Richard Jefferson was saying. I understand, Mark, that it is the owner's, the team's prerogative.
Right.
But I feel like the reasons that are given when they criticize players, they talk immediately about loyalty. And it sounds like loyalty is a one-way street.
It is.
Because, the player has the right to say, I'm not happy, and I would like to get out of this. But people say, well, he's not loyal to the team. But then when the team just dismisses and say, well, we're going to get rid of this guy, and they don't even have the courtesy to give them that kind of conversation and say, look in the movie or something like that, then people say, well, he has a contract. So you can't have. I feel like you can't have it both ways. But the players are held to a higher standard when it comes to that loyalty thing. Is it about loyalty or is it about a contract?
And here's the other thing, Dave. In the group, in our Facebook group, somebody pointed out that a player re-signing or staying with the team that they were drafted by, they don't want to win. They just want money.
Right.
Is that
okay?
fair?
So, well,
I'm talking about Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal.
Right. Let's try this, guys. Since neither one of us trust each other, since we're talking about loyalty, that means you can't come to me and ask for a 4-year, $261 million contract. How about I give you a 1-year, $35 million contract? This way, if you get in your feelings next year, I get in my feelings next year, we part ways. How's that sound?
Right.
Are we gonna come to that? Because you know what? Bishop brought up something a long time ago when we were talking about Melo. And Melo went for the long-term money when he re-upped with the Knicks. But meanwhile, nobody was paying attention to what Bishop and LeBron were paying attention to. LeBron was signing 2-year contracts with the opt-out after 1 year.
Right.
Nobody caught on to that. I never even knew it until Bishop.
No, I knew that. His eye was always he wants to play with his son.
But again, he's in a win-win situation, and the team's in a win-win situation.
Right.
Okay.
Doing that, he takes a little bit less money, and it allows the team to sign other pieces around him. He's been doing this since Miami.
But the thing I'm getting at, Mark, is nobody's being held hostage no more. You want this, I want this. How about we just, try to be honest about this? I'll give you a 1-year contract for $35 million. Because shit could change tomorrow. We got to trade you. You get in your panties. You want out. So we only got to deal with this for a year.
Has LeBron ever held a organization hostage like Harden and like Durant?
No.
I'd say no.
He never put himself in that position, Mark. That's the caveat to that shit. He never put himself in that position.
Also, he
had that opt-out.
He's a bigger star than they are, and he's always moved differently. They tried to emulate him, but haven't emulated him.
No.
Especially
they wanted the long-term deal. Ownership bought into it, knowing that we all know that whether the player gets in his panties or the team wants to trade him, this can happen. See, LeBron never put himself in that position. He's like, I'm one and done if I have to. But these guys want these long-term contracts. They get in their panties. Owners give them these long-term contracts. They get in their panties and want to move them. Now we're back to the drawing board of who's right, who's wrong.
Right.
You're right. There ain't no honor. Ain't no honor amongst thieves.
The fans wind up being critical of both of them. Because if LeBron does the one and done, then the fans get mad and they're going to burn his jersey.
Right. People are mad at Melo for taking the money and saying he doesn't want to win, but the team didn't do him justice by having him play with Travis Weir and be coached by Derek Fisher.
But again, he could have avoided that twofold. He saw the handwriting on the wall. He was a free agent. He could have bounced, or he could have did what LeBron did. I'll sign a 2-year contract
respect
with the
Melo.
option to opt out.
I do too. I
respect Melo for all his moves because he remained classy and he remained professional throughout all the BS.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he shot himself in the foot by chasing the money and the years. Because LeBron was
I'm
doing.
not mad at him for that either.
No, but that's how the subject came up when we were talking about Melo and Bishop brought up the one and done with LeBron, signed a 2-year contract, opt out after one. He had that option to do that. He went for the long term.
He's done that He's been doing that since the second time in Cleveland. He's been doing the 2-year and option type thing.
And has it been effective? Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you're playing and your team's winning, the likelihood of you opting in is great, and the opportunity for the ownership to say, "Yeah, we'll keep him," is great. Right. But again,
because it's LeBron.
When the horse is out the barn, we all have a chance to shake hands and say good luck.
Yeah.
Can't have it both ways, guys.
I agree. Let's move on. The Houston Texans
Oh.
settle with 30 of DeShaun Watson's accusers because they accused the Texans of turning a blind eye to DeShaun Watson's actions. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I don't have any thoughts on it, honestly.
Bishop snickered.
Something ain't clean in the milk. Something ain't clean in the milk. Because why am I responsible? Why am I responsible for what this dude does or doesn't or allegedly does with in his fantasies or whatever? Why am I responsible for that? Because he plays football for me. Like I don't get that. And if his actions were so egregious, why isn't he being criminally prosecuted? If his actions are so egregious, if he forced these women to do these things for him and to him, why isn't he being prosecuted criminally? Because from what it sounds like, all of the salacious details that they were leaking, he should be tried. He should be arrested. He should be, but they made the decision that there's no proof. There's nothing. So this whole dog and pony show about him being suspended and so forth and so on. If I haven't been charged with anything criminally, how are you then, the NFL, going to police anybody's morality?
They've done it before.
Yeah, selectively.
Look at
conversation last time.
Look at Roethlisberger. Was he ever charged for anything?
No, and the only reason why we even hear,
but he had to sit out some games.
Yeah, he had to sit out a few games because it was an embarrassment to the league. A whole season, no. 3 games maybe. 3 games maybe. The whole season, nah.
Yo, my volume messed up. I'll be coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back. Okay.
That just doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense to me that they would try to suspend him for a whole season when, again, you as an organization settle. How are you liable for this guy's behavior? He didn't do those things. Did he do them on Houston Texans property at the behest of the Houston Texans? You know what I mean? Were they complicit in the actions? Did they hide videotape? But I don't understand how they're even liable. And it's like, okay,
well,
so you settle with these women. You settle with these women. You settle with these women. Why? That's what I would have to ask. Why did you settle with these women? If it's him, and they were civilly suing him, how did you then become liable for the civil suits against him? How did you become liable?
Yeah,
hey, hold on, David. Do y'all hear anything in the background? My background?
No.
Okay. Yeah, David.
I was just agreeing with Bishop. I don't understand any of this. To be honest with you, I've unfollowed this, for a while ago.
David said this is too dirty for me.
Yeah, I just it was I lost interest. You know, I think they got up to 24 or whatever the number went up to. I was like, okay, I stopped caring. You know, not about the about the women and anything, but just about this dude. And I'm just a little tired of hearing about him. I feel like this is just going on too long, and I don't even know what's going on.
Right. So you're saying the story and the case no longer have merit?
I'm not going to say that it doesn't have merit. I'm not interested enough in it anymore. Gotcha. You know, I had barely enough interest in it when it first came out. I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. Where are they going to go with this? But how long has we talked about this? Like 2 years?
Going on 2 years.
We started talking about him getting out of Houston, and then all these allegations, and then I just feel like it's a soap opera.
Right.
And not to make light of it, but I just don't have the energy for it.
Should he be suspended?
I think that if he did so, I don't know. Did he do it? I don't know what's going on anymore with it. To be honest with you, I'm the wrong.
Well, the league is still investigating whether to proceed or do it.
See, I don't understand. The league's morality.
No.
That's what I don't understand. What are they investigating? Are they investigating because people are still talking about it, or are they investigating because they really think that he did something wrong and we have to take a stance on it? I don't know. I don't believe anything that the NFL says.
Whether he did it or not, in my mind, I don't care. If he used his position as an NFL quarterback to coerce these women or finesse them into providing him with favors, services, whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is. Why do I care? It's the NFL. Let's go play some football. He can throw football. Let's go play some football. That's how they deal with everything else. Why is this any different?
Yeah.
Well, we already know why it's different, but
I'm just saying, why is this any different? And again, this whole idea, I think this is all a dog and pony show so that they can attempt to show that they have some sort of like moral compass, and they're using him as an example because, and it's part of this whole ploy. And at the end of the day, the Players Association and the NFL will come to some sort of agreement and say, well, no, not the whole season, but maybe 3 to 5 games. And they can say, well, we wanted to do it, but the Players Association wouldn't allow us to do it. So we have to follow the rules and the governance of the Players Association along with the NFL. That's how we cooperate and make sure that we do things right. And blah, 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 blah. But again, I'm still wondering if all of these women were coming out of the woodwork and suing him, how are they liable to pay civil lawsuits on his behalf? I'm confused. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, say that again.
They took it upon themselves to settle out with all of these women who suddenly came out of the woodwork when he requested a trade from the Texans.
Okay, so with that being said, I think those women filed the suit against the team. That's why.
No, there's a suit against them, but
there's a suit against the team.
No, there's a suit.
That's why they settled.
There's suits against him.
There's suits against him, but they also, the lawyer Busby, whatever the hell his name is, they went after the team too. That's why the team settled. Now they're waiting on. I think he settled with 24 out of the 30. I think something of that nature.
30.
No, I said DeShaun Watson settled.
Yeah, he
with
did.
24 out of the 30.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like you said, the piggyback off what you said, Bishop, is if there's no criminal charges, why are we going for civil? I don't understand that.
Right.
There's no criminal charges. They looked into it. They didn't see anything wrong. Now, to say whether something inappropriate happened, it's a high probability that it did happen. I'm not saying that it did.
Whoa. Who's the judge to say maybe it's just my thing? Maybe it's just my thing, my role play thing. And they like role play too. So that's just our thing. So again, like who's to judge me?
Well, I'm talking about the salaciousness of it. Yes, something probably went down.
Yeah. Okay.
Now whether it was forcible or not, I can't prove it. Nobody could prove that.
Well, everything that I heard, all of it sounded like finessing.
Well,
because if it was forcible, then that means there's criminal charges that could be
exactly
if it's forcible.
So there was probably a bag there. Hey, look, you can take this bag if you do such and such and such and such. And if I'm not mistaken, weren't there NDAs? NDA non-disclosure agreements with this also?
Well, I don't think so. Because if it was, then they wouldn't have jumped on that ambulance chase the bandwagon if there was. But again, so he settled with them and the team settled with them. I'm with you, Dave. I'm confused about all of this. This is all seems.
And the difference, about the criminality of it, I guess that in a civil case is much easier. Well, I don't want to say easier. The burden of proof is less. So, usually with these civil cases, they wind up settling on something. They carry these things on. I've gone to jury duty a couple of times to be put on civil cases and never saw the courtroom because as soon as they bring it there, people they settle. So sometimes it's just writing a check and making it go away. It's not like I'm not admitting to anything, but we just want this. Let's make it beneficial for both of us.
Right.
Sometimes that's what they do. So maybe that's the case there.
Yeah, I just don't understand how the NFL, again, you can't morally judge anyone as the NFL because you got a bunch of delinquents, woman beaters,
drug abusers.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff from ownership down.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Hey,
the owners are just as bad as the players.
Richie Incognito just retired.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Richie, is that the one that was sexually harassing his teammate?
Sexually harassed him, called him, the N-word. Questioned his sexuality in the locker room. Richie Incognito also did other things on the field as well. Some other things he did off the field besides doing that to that particular teammate.
He should have remained incognito.
Dude kept getting another shot.
Well, that's the way it is.
Let's play football.
He got the complexion for the protection. So
let's play football.
So, and this is why what's going on with Watson is happening.
Hey, I don't think anything should happen to him. He's been embarrassed enough. People know what he likes, what his MO is. You know what I mean? Allegedly.
He likes massages.
Allegedly, and with happy
Imagine him trying to haze you as a rookie. Be like, what? You got your massage today?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's wrong, but y'all know I'm for the jokes.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, you only get male masseuse.
Hey, yo.
You only get male masseuse.
From now on.
Yep. You only get male masseuse, and if you so inclined, we can get you one of those special male masseuse that like those types of things. But you only get male masseuse from now
tell
on.
him, shouldn't you be sitting in a cold tub, bro?
Yeah, right. That's what they have. They bought all that stuff for you to sit in.
Yeah. Well,
go sit in a cold tub.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Our last topic for the evening. Washington Nationals outfielder Juan Soto turns down a 15-year, $440 million deal. Soto is now on the trade market, per the Washington Nationals. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I have a few thoughts. First thought is a lot of things that I read were making a big deal about him turning down almost $500 million. But if you look at the numbers,
right,
it really comes out to be just under 30 a year.
Right.
And so I was pointing out before that if you take Lindor's contract, it was less years, it was a 10-year deal, but it was about 34. So we're talking about 5 more, per. So I think the shock value of it was that number. You look at 440 million, but that's stretched out over 15 years, so it's not the same. I think it's not as big as people made it out to be. He's a ultra talented. He's somebody that I would love to have on the Mets.
Yes.
Don't know where he's going to wind up, but he is, I think, a generational type of talent. He's only 23 years old.
Yep.
I don't know what they would have to do to make that deal. There are certain chips that I would not like to give up. This kid Alvarez is the catcher is right there on the cusp, and
he's at AAA right now.
Yeah,
they just moved him up to AAA.
And he's ranking. They just drafted a catcher. So I again, I'd love to have them. If they don't, if they swing and miss on it, I'm fine with it.
Right.
But I would like them to at least take a swing at it and see what the Nationals are talking about. And the Nationals don't seem to be as opposed to trading him to the Mets as they do to other teams in the division. And Soto seems to like, from what I've heard from him today, I think it was, he talked about his success at Citi Field. So, just throwing things out there, who knows what's real and what's just, hype. But I'd love to see him on the Mets.
And he's going to get paid.
Oh, he's going to get paid. And Steve Cohen has money. We're not talking about the Wilpons. We have an owner who is not opposed to paying. So, and then of course the Yankees are always in the mix.
Right. And both teams need a bat.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not mad at him for turning down $440 million. I mean, I would take a tenth of that, but but again, I'm not a 23-year-old superstar.
Right, right. Bishop, Reggie.
It must feel nice
to be wanted.
To be in a position to be like, yeah, take that 440 million, shove it. It's like, this sells itself. It sells itself. I'm gonna get that regardless.
Well, he is.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Right. It's 15 years. We've talked about this on the show before about guys signing those long contracts, specifically like the 10-year deals. Some of those things aren't happening anymore.
Yeah.
But in his case, he's 23. I could give him a 10-year deal if I was somebody, because he'd be 33 at the end of the deal.
Yeah.
As opposed to giving, guys who are 27, 28 and getting 10-year deals, and the last 3 years of the deal they stunk and weren't as proficient as the money they were getting.
Yeah. I mean, 10-year deal. A 15-year deal is kind of, that's really like out there. But he's going to make that money, even if he, took less years over the course of his career. Let's say he's got, because 15 years, he's 38 years old. Say he plays until 40. He's going to make a ton of money. He may make more than that over the time, because we don't know what the market value is going to be and all those things. But I think
that too.
So 10 years ago, we would be looking at this like, that's crazy, but this is what today's market for a player like that.
Right.
So I think it's all relative too, because I agree with Bishop. Must be nice to be in a position where you can turn down $500,000, but it's all relative. It's just like you being on your job and somebody's talking about $100,000 and you say, well, I think I should get 110. It's all relative. And when you get in those kind of positions, the numbers are much different. But
and Bishop, this is second big contract he turned down from his team.
Yeah.
The other offer was 10 years, 330 something million, I believe, and he said no to that.
Yeah, well, maybe he's looking at. I'm just throwing it out there. If they're willing to pay me this 30 something million over 15 years, the money that they're going to be getting maybe after my first or second year is exponentially more than what they're paying me. So I want my salary to increase based on that, based on what the pot is going to be available for. So throw something in there that says, here's what the contract could potentially be for, but it could be for more.
Right. Well, we know some contracts are front loaded where you make more money at the beginning of the contract and less as it progresses, or the reverse. You make more money, but I wouldn't. It's just me being me. A 10-year deal, I give you money up front. You'll make less on the back end. But I wouldn't give anybody a 10-year deal. Go ahead, Reggie.
Maybe he's trying to Bobby Bonilla people right now.
Well, I was just you said it, and I was going to say that's always the last resort. You could do that.
I would also, making that kind of money, I would defer some of it also.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think he would be okay if he deferred some money. I think he would be able to.
I mean, he can play though. He's a bad boy.
Yes,
he's a bad boy.
If he's on the table, like I said, take a swing at it. The worst you can do is miss.
He's making 17 this year.
Oh, wow.
So,
and the other piece of it, maybe he wants to get out of DC.
I think that's what it is more than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, Boris is also his agent, so.
Yeah, so that's the other half of it. So
Yeah. Well, if teams are smart, don't be like Carlos Beltran and just go down looking.
Yeah, right. There you go. That breaks my head. You had to bring that up. I can't.
I'm sorry.
Enjoy the Andy Chavez catch. When I see the highlights, I can't enjoy it because I know what came after.
Right.
So
him this.
Yeah.
Mofo, swing your bat.
Yeah,
if you strike out, I'm
right.
okay with
you
that.
took a swing at it, but he went down there looking. That was a nasty curve, though. I would. So,
it was. He just was like.
Curve, but yeah, for it to end that way, that was worse to me than you remember when Kenny Rogers walked in, the bases loaded, again, and they lost to the Braves. Andrew Jones.
I'm not a Piazza fan. It's Met fans that adore that guy. I'm like, World Series. You let Clemens just punk you.
Yeah,
like
that. That really, I wanted him to,
Listen, he didn't have to fight him. At least, at least do the, hold me back, man. Hold me back. You ain't even do that.
He did kind of let him punk him on that.
And the thing is, Clemens have been punking him all season.
Yeah, well, it started because Piazza was punking him with the bat. Yeah. And then Clemens said, "Oh no, we're not going to have this anymore." And then went to his bag.
He said, "Let me drink the juice."
That's right. He went to his bag of steroids and started throwing bats and stuff at him and everything. Because he beamed him during the All-Star, right before the All-Star break.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Piazza wanted to run at the Dodger pitcher in spring training. I remember everything.
Well, maybe Piazza was afraid that he would get the Nolan Ryan to Robin Ventura treatment on the big stage.
I'm thinking the baseball god said, you know what, we got to get the Mets back for that Bill Buckner thing. So that's what that was.
Well, you know what?
Hey,
I'll take it because I'm going to live off of 86 for the rest of my life. That's what it is.
that was good times.
That was great. That was
like,
great.
Just bring back the Coke and the women in the locker room and all of the other stuff.
No. As long as they don't ask for massages.
Yeah.
Listen, we just got our former captain Keith Hernandez. His number retired. Dude used to be sitting in the dugout smoking a
cigarette. Yeah. Right there. Let me tell you, the late 70s, early 80s, good old time to be a kid growing up. Great role models.
You crazy.
He used to say, "Oh, athletes don't smoke," and Keith would be in there puffing. Yeah, and you know, in Game 6, after Keith made out in that 10th inning, he went back into the locker room and started popping some beers because he didn't want to sit there and watch it. And then he came back out. I don't think he even had his jersey on. He came back out when the Mets came back. So yeah, it was a different time. It was a much different time.
That was when the Mets were the Mets.
Also back then,
that's when Bishop was a Mets fan.
Mets were men. The Mets were men.
Yeah.
But then the stupid GM traded most of the men and brought in nice guys.
He brought in nice guys.
And, he had to clean up that mess that
Kevin McReynolds and some of these other quiet boys that never quite panned out. And then they decided to fix that and bring in Vince Coleman and Brett Saberhagen and David Cohn doing what he was doing in the bullpen. So David Cohn just skipped the massage and said, "Here."
So wait, so now that weed is legal, are they going to be able to smoke on the sidelines?
No, stop it.
Yeah, just not publicly. No, they don't want to do it publicly. You can come out there hot. Well, sure. You remember the 70s? What was the guy, Doc Ellis, allegedly pitched a no-hitter high on LSD or something.
Yep. He was high on LSD. What's the guy on the Yankees?
Oh, yeah.
Pitched a no-hitter, and he said he was hungover.
Not Rigetti.
No. Wells?
Yeah, it was Wells.
Yeah.
Wells was hungover.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
he probably couldn't even see straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at the catcher throwing sign.
He said, "I see 5 of them."
That's right. Just throw it in the middle.
Yeah. If y'all don't have anything else, I'd like to adjourn for the evening.
Yes.
It's been fun.
Yes,
sir.
A lot of fun.
Me and Bishop just don't agree on a bunch of things, but that's my brother. Right, brother?
Right.
We'll come back. We'll come back. That's why we have the show, man. We'll come back.
I was just going to say, that's why you have the show.
And we do agree on certain things.
Yeah.
R just broke out on us, did not say good night.
Yeah,
he's just a savage.
No,
he messaged us.
He started talking about his novellas, and then he got into his feelings.
Oh wow, I missed that. I got to go back and listen to that part.
Yeah, go back to that. But see, R dipped out publicly. Behind the scenes, he'll send a message, but if you're not a part of that, you wouldn't know.
He doesn't say good night to y'all that watch and listen.
That's right. To his loyal listeners. It's like dip, and then there were 4.
But I want to thank everybody who is on our different streams, on our Twitter, on our Twitch, on our Facebook, different pages, the YouTube channel. Thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel in the Paint Media Group. Follow me on Twitter at the real Max 611 at The Real Max 611. Thank you. And follow Rodney at Real RJ Jones, and follow our Twitter page for In the Paint, which is at In the Paint Media. I hope everybody's been good. We had a little storm here in New York. Heat is coming and humidity in the next few days. So those of you, hydrate.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Yeah, hydrate, Reg. Hydrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hydrate. Keep a
How
hat.
about to stay
Get
home
some
from work?
sunscreen, bro.
Right, stay home from work. I got 25 minutes left in my anniversary.
You said heat or hedonism.
Heat,
Yep.
not hedonism.
Yep. And with that, everybody, I want to say good night. We'll be back probably Friday. Everybody have a peace and blessed evening. Peace, y'all.
All right, fellas. Later.
Later.